But let's get into it. We had a couple of signings. Why is he shaking his head? Bro, why? Had a couple of signings over the past week. We brought Bro home, brought him back, and I'm not talking about Jadeveon because we'll talk about him. I'm talking about Dunk, Agent 42. Sam Franklin was re-signed, fan favorite, a friend of the show. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I think he brings a different dynamic to the secondary or to the special teams, I should say. He did play in the secondary a little bit last year because we had a lot of guys injured. And, I mean, there's some improvement to be made there. But overall, like, I'm excited to have him on special teams and kind of lead that group because he's like the excitement, just the energy. He brings a lot of that every play. He brings that hustle. You're always going to see 42 first one down the field. You're always going to see 42 around the ball. You're always going to see 42 trying to hit, make plays. So I'm excited that we brought him back. I think that was very vital, a very vital piece in this offseason. If you're not really tuned in, then you might not really know who he is. But, I mean, just do your research. And he is a fan of the show, or we're a fan of him as well. So shout out, Dunk.
Nah, for real. I'm interested to see how his impact will be affected based on the new rules that we discussed last week. I am interested to see that because I think that's going to be different for everybody. And that's where he makes his money, is on special teams. And he was one of the players that I had in mind when we were talking about the rule change last week. And, you know, a lot of these guys make their money off of special teams. You have guys like Sam Franklin who has earned himself a roster spot just simply based on, in my opinion, in my estimation, what he was able to do on special teams because, you know, when he had the opportunity to start at safety a couple times last year, he looked pedestrian, if we're just being honest. So I'm interested to see how his impact will be affected. But I do believe that we will see some strides in the secondary. He will have an opportunity, in my opinion, again, to make an impact at camp. We don't know what we're doing at safety. We don't know. I mean, we're assuming that we're rolling with X, but not 100% sure what we're doing with that other safety position. So maybe we might see a lot of 42 next year. What do you think about that? Are you scared? Yes or no?
What if we got to roll Sam Franklin out?
Yeah, if we got to roll Dunk out beside X.
I mean, I think that we could do better than that. Like, I'm not saying Sam Franklin is this terrible player, but I'd rather see him shine on special teams, or unless he's made some kind of drastic improvement throughout the offseason. But I was going to ask, like, can Bro not play safety? Nick Scott, does he not?
Yeah, no,
like,
that's
how interchangeable, because I never played safety, how interchangeable is free safety and strong safety?
That's not a question for me. That's a question for somebody that played back there, because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really don't know. Like, I feel like a free safety is bigger, faster, stronger. Is that not the case?
Strong safety.
Strong safety?
Yeah, because the strong safety, you typically bring them up for, like, run support.
Yeah.
That's what Curse do. That's what
free safety.
Earl Thomas was the free safety in that system.
Yeah.
And he was more rangy, like in the
center field.
You're kind of reading the quarterback's eyes as the free safety. Yeah. Strong safety, you're just trying to go thump some shit.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's not put Nick Scott there. Let's put Alex there. But I know that you don't like that. Or let's go get a better option from the draft.
Or let's just keep X.
But X plays free though, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. I'm talking about strong. Put Alex there. Now watch how your defense get turned up even more. I got a lot of players, weird players that I'm a huge fan of.
You always do this, bro, and then they just really don't be.
You like what you think they could be. You don't like versus what they actually are.
And they really be mid.
Yes.
And I have to be here to bring you back down to earth. Even bring it back down to a level ground, even playing field. You did the same shit with Jamie Robinson. Now, would you like to say something about him?
No, not really. Not really.
Do you not want to put him out there?
Not yet.
But that's the guy they drafted to replace Jeremy Chin. Why he ain't on the field? Why can't we put him back there?
I mean, well, did Jeremy Chin get missing this offseason? Yes or no? You want to go all the way back to that conversation from last offseason?
Is Jamie Robinson third string? Yes or no?
I don't know.
Nigga, you know.
What else do we have? So we had Dunk, and then we brought in the linebacker, Tay Davis. I have his stats here. Really, I don't believe he's anything crazy, but I'm going to be respectful. just because I don't really know him that well. So we're gonna go through his stats, and then I'll get you guys' reaction off of that.
Before we get while you're pulling that up, I just want to add something on like with Dunk. I think as far as like his impact on special teams go, I think there's still going to be opportunity because the punt hasn't changed, to my knowledge. So you can still put him at as a gunner on the punt team.
That's very true.
And then
Great
you
point.
can still and then with special teams is going to look completely different, but that could also play into his favor as far as like there's going to be new opportunities on special teams and like new ways to be a special teamer that we just haven't seen yet. Because we just don't watch I don't watch XFL. I don't know if y'all do, but there's going to be new opportunities. Like how much do we know about Dunk's willingness to block?
Because you also think there's going to be more pop plays out of special teams. Right. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and there should be. That was the whole intent of changing this rule is to make the kickoff more exciting, to give opportunities to return the ball. Because most of I think only like 8. I think it was like a crazy stat. I don't remember off the top of my head, so I don't want to butcher it. But like the kickoff percentage was like, as far as returns go, was way down because it was more advantageous to just take the touchback. And now they're trying to do away with that to force you to take a kickoff.
Yeah, to add more points.
Right.
That's all it is, for more offense.
So there's going to be more opportunity to like within the scheme of special teams for like a blocking setup or like a, Dunk could end up being a pivotal piece on a play where he has to, kick out and block somebody or something like that and create a lane for the returner. So it could, it just depends on what they decide to do with it. And also coverage. Like, you're going to have to be very disciplined in gaps now on special teams. You can't get out of your fucking lane because they're going to set you up.
Well, all I know is I'm ready to see 42 stretch something. Because that'd be what kind of energy he's on now. Are we putting him at safety? Let's chill. But I do think I agree with you that I don't know that his impact will be decreased significantly. I just think that it's going to be an adjustment for all players that have played special teams for the majority of their career, and that's where they made their money. So, that being said, if I had to put my trust in somebody to make the adjustment and still have an impact, it would be him.
Right.
Because, it's the same thing with Frankie Louvu, who's obviously no longer with us, but it's the same thing with him. If I had to put my trust in somebody in 23 or 22 when he was going crazy on special teams, it would have been him to make the adjustment and to get the job done, which we saw, obviously, his career with the Carolina Panthers was short-lived. However, his impact was significant, and he did it not only on special teams but on defense as well because he made that stride to improve his game as a whole as a linebacker. Mm-hmm. Now, Sam Franklin has the opportunity to do the same thing, in my opinion.
Well, especially with the whole that strong safety.
Exactly.
And he likes to hit.
1,000%.
So there you go.
But we've also seen him get put in the dirt. We've also seen Sam get put in the dirt a couple times. So that's the only thing. He's a little light.
And he seen a lot of him being out of position as well.
Yes.
Which
is a big problem with Jeremy Chin too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
people had.
Yeah, and a big problem with him also was the fact that he just simply couldn't cover. I think I think the difference between Sam and Jeremy Chin is the fact that Sam takes a lot of risks. That's just his mindset, just based on the way he's wired, in my opinion. Jeremy Chin, his just was simply an inability to cover. He couldn't guard. He couldn't guard man to man. I don't know if that's the case with Sam because a lot of the blown coverages we saw from him last year was just simply from him cheating his eyes. That's it. So I don't know. I don't want to get too hyped off of him, and I don't want to spend this much time on him either, especially with Jadeveon signing. But first we'll go to Tay Davis. Played 8 games with the Falcons last year. Played 8 with us last year. To be quite honest with you, I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all. We don't try and really act like experts. We just come in here and give y'all our opinion and report the news that we have. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know who Tay Davis was. I just pulled the stats up on NFL. I didn't even know he played with us last year. So to be quite frank, this move doesn't move me at all. I'm going to just keep it 100. But my co-host Terrence will give y'all a better analysis, I'm sure.
Why do you expect me to give why do you expect me to give them a better analysis? I don't know the guy either. He definitely doesn't solve any problems. I know that linebacker position is thin, and he definitely doesn't solve any problems there. I don't even see him starting just based off of his numbers alone, but maybe they know something we don't, or maybe he's in there to be a good rotational piece? I'm not sure.
I think the latter. I think it's just a depth move.
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure. Doesn't really do much for me. Doesn't move me at all. Congrats to him getting on the roster, I guess.
For now.
Yeah, I was about to say congratulations on not getting in order because he just made the 90. Congratulations for that, but we'll congratulate you in mid-August when things are solidified. Let me see. Just to give you some stats on him just really quick. Been playing in the league since 2018, 61 games played, only 5 games started. The majority of those came when he was a rookie with the New York Giants. He started 4. The following year, he only started 1 with the New York Giants. After that, he hasn't started any. 64 total career tackles in 6 years.
Lord Jesus Christ.
6 years, yeah. That to me doesn't really do much. 2 sacks total. All of those came his rookie year as well. So, yeah, a guy really that, with all due respect, doesn't move the needle, doesn't really do anything. I think he adds depth. I think that the Carolina Panthers could be, a little nervous with Shaq Thompson having a little age on him now. We did see him be out for the entirety of the season last year.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, shout out to bro. So, at the end of the day, this to me is just a depth move, so I'm not going to hate on it too much, and we really don't got to spend too much time on him until he makes an actual impact on the field for the Carolina Panthers. And then, of course, the conversation that, we've had over the past 2 or 3 weeks that finally occurred, Jadeveon Clowney, react. 3, 2, 1, go.
I mean, he gave 9.5 sacks last year. That's more than the guy that got paid $30 million. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what he can do closer to home. I think he's going to be a huge impact on the defensive side. Now, we haven't seen Jadeveon Clowney have, some extremely crazy breakout year. I think his most memorable thing is from where he stretched the Michigan nigga, when he was in college. So, I mean, I think Tavian made a good point the other week. We said that he's still living on that high. I don't know if you said that on air or you said that off air.
Yeah, he said it on
might
air.
have.
And, so I don't think it's something crazy, like some superstar guy that we signed, but it was something that was much needed based off of what we would have had going into the season. And so I am happy that they were able to fill that hole, and now I guess he'll be playing on alongside of DJ Wanham. So it'll be interesting to see what the defense will look like with those guys. I don't think it's going to be I don't know. It's not going to be – don't get your hopes up thinking we're going to see some kind of freaky edge Russian defense or some shit like that. Honestly, I don't want y'all to get y'all hopes up. We're just going to be leading the NFL in sacks or some shit. But I just think it is a position we needed to fill. So, and I think he was the best available at the time that we got him. So, salute to the coaching staff and the front office by going out and making that move.
I'm going to come right to you. 2 weeks ago, I said that the only remaining priority for the Carolina Panthers was to get Jadeveon Clowney, and they did it. So right now, as far as the offseason is concerned, I think that Dan Morgan, what's my man's name? Tillett, the dude that's been structuring the contracts.
Yep.
Tills, something like that.
Tillis or something.
Yeah. Bro, been structuring the contracts. Dave Canales, whatever he's contributing to the process as well. I think that this has been a phenomenal offseason for the Carolina Panthers. I will second Terrence's stance in saying that I don't believe, and I said this last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, I can't remember, but I said that I don't think that Jadeveon has the ability just to bust a game wide open. But what I do know for a fact is that last year he had 43 tackles combined, and he had 9.5 sacks. To go along with that, pass rush win rate, 2023, he was number 4, tied with T.J. Watt. So when you're in that realm, Michael Parsons was number 1, Myles Garrett was number 2, Anderson was number 3, tied for 4th was Clowney and Watt at 25%. And also had the 4th highest double team rate with 25% as well. So when we're talking about that, yeah. What do you have to say?
So when y'all make that notion that Brian Burns is always getting double teamed, I keep seeing that shit, bro. And
yeah, that's a conversation.
And it just you're telling me a 31-year-old Jadeveon Clowney What was it like? What, fourth double team rate?
Yep,
I'm
number
sure.
four highest double team rate and fourth pass rush win rate leader. Excuse me.
So it's just interesting that y'all want to shoot this nigga that bail, like when you got a 31-year-old Jadeveon Clowney versus a guy who just went and got paid $30 million, and then y'all want to shoot him bail about he's getting double teamed and this and that. He's not playing alongside Hassan Reddick anymore. He doesn't have anyone else on the other side of him. Like, cut it out, bro. That's all I got to say.
I want to get your reaction, then I want to ask you a question about the signing overall because you brought Brian Burns into it. So I want to ask you a question, but go ahead and give me what you got for Jadeveon.
Yeah, I mean, I really just copy and paste what I said 2 weeks ago, essentially. Is like, I think you improved at the position overall, subbing out Brian Burns for the combination of Jadeveon and DJ Wanham. I think because I think both of them are an upgrade over YGM, but I think they're also simultaneously both a slight downgrade from Brian Burns, top end potential. But overall, I think the position group got better and deeper. So I think it was a really good move on behalf of the Carolina Panthers. And I know I leaned into Jadeveon a little bit last week, but he did have a pretty decent run in Cleveland. But he was opposite of Myles Garrett, which is, kind of nice. It does set you up to get to the quarterback a few more times because he's getting triple teamed over here. But, yeah, no, I mean, it's a good signing overall.
And, I mean, just to add some context to that, he played better last year than he did in Cleveland, both the seasons he was there. I mean, the most he had was nine sacks, 37 tackles, and that was in 2021. Last year he had 43 and 9.5. Now,
and it'll play into him. I don't mean to cut you off, but because in Baltimore they had that big D tackle that just got paid. I think he's like top of the market now. I can't remember the guy's name, but
I know you're talking
about.
I
was about to say, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
That helps a lot. And now he's going right to Carolina, same type of D tackle.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think that, obviously last year scheme played a huge part in it. Terrence doesn't believe in scheme as much as I do. I think that you can get a guy like DJ Wanham with 8 sacks, with all due respect, again, I don't want to keep sounding like I'm attacking these guys. Not yet, because when we get in season, if y'all don't produce, I'm on y'all's ass. But I think you can scheme a guy up like a DJ Wanham, and he ends up with 8 sacks. 9.5 was the most that Jadeveon Clowney has ever had in his career. He had 9.5 last year. He had 9.5 in 2017 with Houston as well. So, I think scheme played a part in it, but I trust EJ to get the job done and make your superstar pass rusher look like a superstar pass rusher. And I say superstar not necessarily based on the production, but production kind of mixed with the name in itself. Jadeveon Clowney to me is a superstar. Now, is he BB? No, I don't believe so. And I'm going to come to you with a question because you mentioned him earlier. I don't think that he's BB. However, like we said, like Terrence has said multiple times on the podcast, the effort that we saw from Brian last year was just pathetic. Jadeveon didn't display that effort. Every time I watched the Baltimore Ravens play, he had an impact on the game. There was at no point where Jadeveon Clowney was not felt, whether it be via double team, whether it be him actually making a tackle in the backfield, whether it be one of the 9.5 sacks. There is value there. I believe this was a phenomenal move, and I legitimately said 2 weeks ago, we had a discussion about Michael Gallup. We had a discussion about Tyler Boyd. We had a discussion about all of these other possibilities, and I was pretty much under the stance and under the belief that, to me, you've done everything that you needed to do from the offseason standpoint. Now you're going to build from the draft. There's only one more thing to do, and that's to go sign Jadeveon Clowney, and they did that.
And in 2017, who did he have on that Texans team with him at D tackle?
Vince.
JJ was still there, right? So
yeah, 2017, yeah.
You got his best seasons came with JJ and Big Boy from Baltimore.
And I'm pretty sure Vince was on that. Was Vince Wilfork not on that team as well? Was he not in Houston then?
I think he might have been done by then. But D tackle, a good D tackle will do a lot for an edge.
Yeah, that's very true. And JJ was playing that hybrid role, which I didn't. I think that I thought the whole time that JJ was
an edge.
Yeah. But JJ played in and out. He played a lot more in Arizona.
He was like Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I was about to say, but he played in and out a lot. Let me see. I'm trying to see if he had Vince in 2017 as well. No, he didn't. Vince retired 2016.
16, yeah.
Got it. Okay, cool. Now, you brought up Brian Burns, and this is this leads me to ask this question, and this isn't where we were going to go, so we don't have to spend too much time here because when Jadeveon got signed, he came in, had his interview. He said something very, very interesting to me, which I can't wait to hear Terrence's reaction to this because this has been an ongoing conversation for a couple of weeks on this show as well. Was the job complete, in your opinion, by the front office to replace Brian Burns, and do you think that the impact will be greater or less than Brian Burns still being here other than DJ Wonnum and Jadeveon Clowney? That's a very loaded question, but answer it how you see fit.
I think for what they had available with – obviously, there was something with Chase Young that I think that they didn't like. Maybe I'm not going to say they didn't like, but maybe – I don't know. Maybe it was a numbers thing, something like that. So I think for what they had available – they did what I think they did do the best job in getting who they could get. They got the best available, like I said. And do I think it's going to be an upgrade from Brian Burns? I think that if you were to tell me that I'm getting off of Brian Burns, who had 8.5 sacks, and I'm going to replace him with an experienced guy like Jadeveon Clowney that had 9.5 sacks, that played on one of the top defenses in the NFL last year, so who knows how to play competitive football, former number 1, number 2 overall draft pick. And then I'm going to go also in that same breath, be able to go and get a DJ Wonnum, another guy who had 8 sacks, 8.5 sacks, something of that sort, and replace those two guys for the level of play, the effort, the statistics that we got from Brian Burns last year. I can't be mad at that. I'm going to say you did what the fuck you had to do.